Alright, enough dooming, let's go for the daily elite spec slop. Not only we got 2 new pictures for what is obviously Paragon and Ritualist, but we also got ourselves a new poem for this particular spec that might tell us where we're going, what the expansion is going to be about, and of course, what the hell this is. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning, and let's get into it. Let's first go for this two. These two have such an implication because of the colors and because of the races that are actually being portrayed in this picture. And why is this? It's because every spec always has one particular race that it's portrayed with. For example, Necromancer is always Azura, making this obviously also with the green a Necromancer, right? So what does this mean? That Ritualist is going to be Necromancer. And of course we already knew that this little guy right here is very similar to this logo right here that is indeed the Ritualist Guild Wars 1 symbol, which means that this indeed is, well, Necromancer and Ritualist at the same time. Also guys, if you don't know about Ritualist, they are in Guild Wars 2. We see them a lot in EOD, particularly summoning their spirits to fight against you. So we have seen a lot of their spells already. You can see them especially in the Gang War meta event. You end up fighting a lot of them before the big boss. So I'm guessing what they're gonna do is gonna be something very similar. Big summoning of spirits that buff themselves and also do, you know, attacks in the floor. I think it's gonna be very similar in some ways to the Renegade spec, where you summon this little legends that attack on a circle. Maybe this time they will also move around. We'll have to see how it actually plays out, but it's pretty interesting and something that of course Guild Wars 1 players really like and are very excited for. And the second one is of course Paragon. I thought that this was Guardian. I was very sure of it, but now I don't think so. Not only is this yellow, but it also showcased a black man, which is always what is showcased on Warriors. It was on Spellbreaker, it was on Bladestorm. And I think it's probably going to be the same thing for Warrior here as well, making Paragon the paladin, I guess, of Warrior. Now, it's going to be interesting because this means that they might actually have a lot of support with it, which I really would like. I guess I'm going to end up being a Warrior main now because I really love the paladin idea. And Spellbreaker had that a little bit, but not quite. This completely changes what we expected from their reveals. This used to be here, this used to be here, and this would mean the order was correct, but in this case actually it's going to be different. This is going to be here instead, and Elements is going to be here, and and Necromancer is going to be here. Now, for the last one, why do I think that this is going to be Revenant? Well, this is for a very particular reason. The poem. What does it say? Breaking through the wind, hunting shadows and stirring up waves. There's another translation here. With sharpened will, I cleave the wind. In pursuit of shadows, I steer the wave. It's a very good comment. The first part means that someone is very determined to reach their goal, but they're doing it by chasing what's unknown, bringing forth a big change. Steering waves is about a very rapid action, causing one's still waters to become restless. But there's one thing that is very interesting here. He talks about shadows, just like the post from here does. Summon a shadow-shaping attack. Now we know that this is Ritualist now. So that actually changes my plans a little bit. When I originally thought, was talking with chat about this, we thought, and this was the conclusion, was that 2 shadows mentions in these poems? Well, that reminds me of Menzies, of the Shadow Army, that also looks very similar, as you can see with all of these enemies right here, to the spikes and blades or whatever that this icon portrays. This could be a Shadow Army spec for Revenant. I still think that is going to be the case, and this indeed might be a Menzies expansion, where we go to Path of Fire, we go to Zalana, we discover Menzies, and we somehow bind ourselves with some sort of legend to one of the Menzies allies. But this time, maybe this is a rebel. With sharpened will, I cleave the wind. In pursuit of shadows, I steer the waves. This could be a sort of revolution against Menzies. They have a sharpened will. They steer the waves of whatever exists right now. It could definitely be something like that. It could still be Ranger, I think. It's a little bit hard to justify that with the poem. I guess you could say that hunting or pursuing is a little bit rangery, but it really gives me more the Rev vibe now. We'll have to see, and it's going to be very interesting to see what we get tomorrow, as whatever we get, we're going to be able to tell a bit better what this particular is. Maybe we get Ranger and we know that this is Revenant. Maybe we get Elementalist and we know that this is Thief. Who knows? It's going to be super interesting, and this few days, they're going to be filled with new information. It's also going to be interesting to see how they do this in terms of lore, because Ritualists are from Kantha, so we're going to get Path of Fire specs with Paragon and Kantha specs with, well, Ritualists. So how does that make sense? We're going to go through both zones. So I don't know. It's going to be super cool to see where this goes. Still kind of disappointed with the way that they're going to handle this new expansion, and we're not going to get any content the first patch, but hopefully it ends up going in a right way. Still love the game at the end of the day and wanted to do as good as possible, but we'll have to see. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Twitch to watch me live and see what the next teaser is, and see you around. Love you all. Ciao, ciao.